What up, YouTube? I am your host, Mediocre Tutorials and Reviews, back in here with yet one more video. So before we get started, I just checked my subscribers and I'm almost at 3K subscribers. So just want to send a big thank you to all of y'all, because without all of y'all, the content wouldn't be steadily improving, steadily increasing. So I appreciate y'all. Keep on leaving me comments, keep on doing the shares, the likes, because it helps motivate me to get up and produce content that you guys want to see. Now, I got up this morning and I went over to my computer and I was looking through just old videos for some reason. And I was going through old videos that I had not uploaded yet. So I was looking through and there's a reason why I haven't uploaded them. I just don't think they were as good. So I was coming across one video and the title of the video was gonna be something like keys to know in your 20s, like major keys to know in your 20s that will promote long-term success and happiness into your 30s and beyond. And I love like the title and where I was going with the video, but the delivery and the structure just wasn't there. It was, you know, a long form conversation is what I do mostly on this channel. It was long form, but it was like me kind of rattling things off, and I feel as though a lot of these topics and conversations cannot be condensed into a minute or 2 minute video. You need to have a discussion with the camera in order to bubble things up to enlighten people of new ways to think in a way that promotes discussion, promotes conversation, and is readily and easily digestible. So I wanted to be able to start a new playlist where I kind of go over these keys kind of one by one, kind of one key per video, and I'll just upload them randomly, and you know, kind of use these things as a resource to go back and click into as you're on your journey and you're trying to figure out your life. And the thing is, like, although that the title of that video was like for 20s into 30s, man, you could be in your 40s or your 50s and you could be going back and say, hey, I'm not happy right now. What are the things that I need to focus on in order to increase or improve the position that I'm currently in? And I know a majority of the people who subscribe to this channel probably did so because they saw a dating video. You got to also understand that dating is just one aspect of you being a purpose-filled man in society. That's only one aspect. There's other components of your life that you have to think towards in order to build yourself up so that when your time is done, when you're not vertical anymore, you have left a lasting impression on society and your legacy won't die out in vain. So one of the things that I was talking about in the video, and I wanted to get into this video, and I've kind of mentioned this in different ways throughout previous videos on this channel, is financial health and well-being. And I wanted to get into this topic like a lot of different times in other videos because I feel like it's so important, but I felt like the topic wasn't meant for a dating video. I want to make this one specific to financial health and well-being. Here's where I think, especially our culture, here's where I think we suffer. If you get a promotion, if you start making more money, just because you start making more money does not mean you need to start spending more money. Let me tell you guys a brief story. I got two quick stories for you. Let me tell you a brief story. When I was leaving undergrad, right, I was making my first job at a undergrad. I was making, I remember this, the offer letter was $46,000 a year. I was working for a Fortune 100 company, and that's what they offered me. I was 22 years old, started making money. And it wasn't in a big city, it was in a tier 2 city. And the rent at the time that I was paying was in a spot that I found, and it was a dope spot. It was $900 a month. And I know a lot of you people in, you know, big cities like, what, $900 a month? Yeah, it was a 1-bedroom, 1-bath. I'm talking like 15-foot high ceilings. It was nice too. $900 a month. Now, I made sure throughout the time period that I was in that situation, I kept on paying $900 a month. And some of y'all might say like it doesn't matter, but like I was very friendly with the with the rental agency, And they kept it at $900 a month throughout the 3.5 years or so that I lived there. Anyway, after so I went on and, you know, being a purpose-filled, achievement-filled man that I am, I wanted to get my MBA, Master's of Business Administration. I apologize for the acronym. So I went off and I got my MBA. And when I graduated, I was able to get a job which more than doubled my salary, right? Now, take a guess at what range that I was looking to spend on the new rent, even though I doubled my salary. $900 a month. That's what I was paying coming out of grad school, because although I was making more money, I did not want to double my expenses as well, because although on paper you're generating more revenue, actually your profit is not, it is remaining constant. Think about the power of that, right? Because I could have doubled, I could have gotten an $1,800 a month crib. Now think about the power of that. I had credit cards that needed to be paid. That was now no problem. I had student loans that had to be paid. That was now no problem. And I had a car note that needed to be paid. No problem. I have expenses that need to be paid, and it's no problem. What I'm trying to tell you is that you need to be focused on minimizing your expenses so you can maximize your life, financial life. And when you do that, when you have more money coming in, you can then flip that and invest that in a way where later on, you're setting yourself later on in life to be able to do more things with your money and get out that class that you were in. And this very basic foundation is the reason why we have so many people that look like us that can't get out of the wealth bracket that they're in. There's so many people that are middle class that will stay middle class because they want to keep up with the Joneses, or they're very susceptible to marketing. And I think that this is a mantra that we have to change, especially in our community. There's so many ways that they try to attack you. Advertisers is what I'm getting at here, through TV, I mean, when you clicked on this YouTube video, you might have gotten an ad. All of these things in our society that are telling you to buy this, buy that, in order to be viewed as this, you need that. All of those things are just not true. As you are developing yourself into be the purpose-filled, driven, objective-filled man that you are, you have to understand and compartmentalize all of these different things that are coming, that are hitting you, that are telling you these are the things that you need in your life, and separate yourself out from that, look above it, look down on it, and say, do I really need those things? Let me tell you guys another quick story that I wanted to share with you. And this is probably one of the greatest lessons that my pops had taught me as a kid growing up, right? So my dad is a musician, right? I grew up in a single parent household. My dad is a musician. He's also a school teacher. So, you know, I had very humble beginnings. I remember when my pops used to have sessions, you know, in our home, in our basement, and people would come through, and there was a couch that they would sit on, and with like every time after someone leaves, there would always be change down in that couch, right? This goes to my hustler spirit and ambition as I was a kid. So after every time that he had a session, I would go in that couch and get all of the new change that came down in there. I roll up the change, and then my pops would take me to the bank and we would go in there and they would give me dollars back. Well, after a long time of doing this, I went and I had like $300-400 that I built up over a period of time in change. Around the same time that all of this was happening, Nintendo 64 was coming out, right? So this is like 96. I was like 11 at the time, 10, 11 years old. Now Nintendo 64, Mario 64, right? For all my 30-year-olds and such like out there, you know what it was. You know what I mean? You know what it was. I was so fixated on getting this video game system, and I had the money to do it. I had the money to do it, but the amount of money that I had buying this video game system would have taken out all of my money. And my pop sat me down and he said, yo, listen, the decision is yours. You have this amount of money, the Nintendo 64 is this amount of money, you will have no money after that. Think about what else you could do with that money to invest in yourself. He did it in way more words than that. My dad's a lecturer, right? He did it in way more words than that, but I'm simplifying it for y'all. So I sat back and I thought about it. And what he was teaching me at the time, and I didn't quite get it, was discipline. Money purchasing discipline. Now, as I'm an adult, I practice this in my life right now, but I'm able to do much more things with it because I have much more revenue coming in. But at the time, I'm like, well, what are the things that I can do to invest in my 10-year-old self? Like let's say I do entertain all of this, right? Like, because I really wanted that Mario 64, like you wouldn't believe. Like I used to dream about it and everything, right? So, so what I ended up doing with the money is I went out to an art store, and at the time, this is like when I was starting to get investigate like how creative I was. I went out to an art store. And I ended up buying, graphite pens and a drawing pad. It was like, I don't know, $30 or so of the money that I had. And then that's when I started developing a love for creativity. And I had this drawing pad, and I would just go in it and I would look at cartoons, I would pause the screen, and I would just start drawing whatever I was looking at on the TV screen. Now, if I focused on video games and spent my entire, that next year of my life just playing video games, I would have not had the opportunity to even understand my love of drawing and my love of creating things on a blank sheet of paper. So I say all this to say, and it was multiple lessons that taught me, but I say all that to say that I took something that was focused in consuming entertainment and I invested in myself to find out more about myself and creating something. So those are the two stories that I wanted to share with you. All in the realms of understanding, being purposeful about yourself. It's also being purposeful in making wise decisions regarding your finances. And this is a key topic that I'm gonna hit in a bunch of different ways in a bunch of different videos. But listen, this is one key that I wanted to talk about, right? We're gonna have multiple keys to talk about that I'm gonna be uploading in future videos to come. But listen, that's been your video. This is just what I wanna share with you guys this morning. Any questions, comments, concerns, put it down in the description box down below, because I want to get into it. I want to have these very clear and concise conversations with y'all, in order to promote much more of, what is it going to take for us to improve who we are as men, as purposeful, objective-filled men going into the future. All right? Until next time, y'all. Peace.